Recording, and I welcome everyone. Good evening. Welcome to Citywide Council for District 75, the business meeting March 1st, 2023. It is 6:37, and we would need the Spanish interpreters to interpret the line for this evening, and then the Mandarin interpreters.
Buenas noches. Para escuchar en español se marca al 347-966-4114 y después marca la clave 295-697-858 hashtag. Thank you.
Thank you. Mandarin interpreters.
Thank you. The following message will be in Mandarin. 大家晚上好，收听中文翻译频道，请拨打347-966-4114，然后输入会议的 ID 892-151-741井号键。再说一遍，347-966-4114 ID 892-151-741井号键。谢谢 ，Thank you.
Thank you. Can both interpretation lines please put the information in the chat? And so it'll be accessible for any families that may need it. We will begin with the presentation this evening. It's been put to before the business meeting, so that if we have public attendees, we can give them space to ask questions or give feedback. So our presenter tonight, Mr. Stephen Williams, are you in the space?
Yes, I am. Thank you, Amy.
Thank you. From Accessibility Dispatch, which is an alliance with the New York City Taxi and Limousines. And you are co-host, so if you need to share the screen, you are able to.
That's okay. And my presentation is pretty short as well. I won't be using many screens. I'll just be talking to you just generally about some of the details of the program. So this is a program that connects the community to wheelchair accessible taxis all throughout the 5 boroughs of New York City. And the great thing about it is that it's not just for people who want to use wheelchairs, it's for anyone who wants to use the program. But just in case a person does want to go on a trip, these cars are wheelchair accessible. The great thing is that all the drivers are trained in wheelchair securement. And the awesome thing is that it's the same price as a regular taxi cab. So you're getting a larger cab that can hold a wheelchair, a scooter, a walker. And then basically you're paying the same fare as a regular sedan. And it's really awesome. And the way you can access the program is that you can get access to it by calling our 24-hour customer service number. You can download the app, or you can also go to our website to also book trips as well. And the great thing about the program is that you can get trips on demand, or you can book future reservation trips. And you can also bring service animals as well. So it's just a really wonderful program, and it's a way to make New York City so much more accessible for anyone who uses any type of mobility devices like scooters or walkers or canes or wheelchairs. And I will definitely make sure that I will send to Amy, I'll basically make sure I'll send any literature to Amy so she can disseminate it to all of you folks. So that's pretty much it, the Accessible Dispatch Program. So I'm really hoping to connect with all of you and to work and see if there's some needs in your community that the Accessible Dispatch Program can cover. So
thank you so much. So in this space, it's open for anybody to raise a hand, and please be respectful of each other. We really want to be accessible to everyone. So if there's any questions, please raise your hand. I see Councilmember Spencer.
Thank you, Co-President. Thank you, Co-President Tsai. Thank you, Mr. Williams, for this great service. Any way you could put that information in the chat, website or what have you?
Definitely. I'll definitely put that information in the chat ASAP. Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other council members or the public would like to ask a question or have a comment?
No comment or question in the Spanish line.
Thank you. Mandarin interpretation room?
No question from Mandarin line.
Okay. Thank you so much. I don't see anything and is there anything in the chat? So we will look forward to, we do have multiple committees in the Citywide Council for District 75. So they will be reaching out if they're interested to do another presentation, maybe with the materials you have on hand. And we will share it on our website, on our bulletin board for our community here in District 75, as well as our community across the city that we partner with. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Craig. Have a great night.
You too. Have a good night. Members of the council, we will begin with the business meeting tonight. The agenda has been shared out, as well as the budget that was sent from the SGO in your inbox. So please view your inbox for both attachments. We will call to order for our business meeting, March 2023. We will need to do the roll call. So reporting Secretary Montalban, are you ready?
Hi, yes, good evening. I'll be doing the roll call now. Miss Christy Angel,
He stepped away.
Present. Thank you so much.
Miss Constance Espiadu,
Here.
Miss Celia Green,
Good evening here.
Ms. Aisha Husbands,
Present.
Ms. Patricia Jewett. Okay, I know she's running late. Ms. Joanne Jones,
Present.
Mr. Shamel Lawrence,
Present.
Ms. Christy Montalban, present. Mr. Angel Morales, Mr. Craig Spencer,
Present.
and Miss Amy Ming Tsai.
Present.
Okay. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 9 members present, and if anybody comes in, please just let me know what time.
Thank you. We will begin with our timekeeper. We will need a council member to facilitate the timekeeping. Okay, I will keep time. We will move forward with the moment of silence. Again, we just want to take a minute to express the many celebrations of history that we have been dealing with for COVID and for families of loss during the 1993 World Trade Center bombing and the Black history. And just a lot of the lives that we have lost here locally and across the country. So let's take a moment of silence. Thank you. Thank you. And we will go to motion to adopt the agenda this evening. Is there any members on the council? This is a working meeting this evening, so it would only be the members discussing this meeting. Is there any members who would like to add any items or take away? I see Council Member Spencer.
Thank you, Co-President Tsai. The adjustments that I'm requesting is just what you have in the unfinished business. The proposal that I put forth last month to the bylaws. I want to just keep that to 5 minutes. I haven't had a chance to speak to Councilmember CDU in reference to when her next bylaw committee meeting will be. I think that's a more appropriate place to discuss. What I do want to add is the recent situation, let me just term it that way, at Sunset Park High School for 371K. That thank you, Councilmember Husbands, for taking the lead and bringing it to the council's attention. I just want to state it for the record where we stand on that, so that way the public knows. So I'd like to add that situation at Sunset Park High School to new business. Shouldn't need any more than about 5 minutes or so on that. And I also want to add to new business what the calendar is for the upcoming elections, the candidate forums. If we can have 5 minutes to just declare that here in our space for the public to hear, and we can comment more on that 2 weeks from now during our calendar meeting. But I just want that wanted to be stated on record that this council is aware of what the next steps are for the election process. And I don't think I saw it before, and I don't want to speak for Treasurer Angel because she does a lot, and also Councilmember Lawrence, but updates on their busing and their outreach. I know they've done a lot coming up, and hopefully Councilmember Husbands can speak to what she was doing on with her safety committee as well. So those are the things I want to add. Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you. Councilmember Asudu.
I'd like to add the presentation of the resolution for the hiring of the AA to the agendas to be voted on in the business meeting on the 15th.
You mean the
It's-
calendar meeting for the 15th?
Yeah, I'm sorry, the calendar, thank you. Calendar meeting on the 15th. Yeah.
Is there,
I've sent it out to all the members, the resolution. Myself,
when did you send it out so we can?
I sent it out this afternoon. Should be at the top of your queues.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Co-President Green.
Thank you, Co-President Tsai. Two things. One, can you make me a co-host? And two, if it is possible for Ms. Councilmember Angel to update us on the details for Friday, for the outreach meet and greet, legislative breakfast, if that's possible, I'd like to add.
Okay, you are a co-host, and I have added your request. Is there any other council members? Okay, I don't see any hands. We have a couple items on this agenda today that's added. One is making 5 minutes to the unfinished business that Mr. Councilmember Spencer will be discussing on the new CCs for the bylaws, and we refer to the bylaws committee. Next one is new business. That's in addition to the Sunset Park conversation, the elections for the upcoming term, the report of the busing, outreach, and safety, the resolution that Councilmember Siridu is asking in regards to the hiring process, and the update for this Friday's legislative meeting greet. Is that all? Okay, so I don't see any hands.
Actually, Mr. Councilmember Lawrence has put in the chat if you can make all the council members co-host.
Sure. Just be please mindful that just the buttons on the bottom of your phone or your device. Okay, so is there any other add-ons to the agenda this evening? Okay, recording secretary Montalban, can we please take a roll call?
Okay, I'm starting the roll call to adopt the agenda with the aforementioned additions. Ms. Christy Angel,
Yes.
Ms. Constance Acevedo,
Yes.
Ms. Celia Green, Celia Green,
Sorry, couldn't, I was muted. I have a quick question, Christy. Was it motioned and was it seconded?
that's a good question.
I apologize, I'm
Well,
sorry, I skipped
I-
over. Do we have a motion to adopt the agenda this evening?
Co-President Tsai, I motion to adopt the business agenda with the changes as noted.
Thank you. Do we have a second for the motion?
Actually, I'll make a motion.
Mr. Lawrence second in the chat.
Thank you. We have motion by Councilmember Spencer and second by Councilmember Lawrence. Recording secretary Montalban, may you please take a roll call?
Yes. Ms. Christy Angel,
Yes.
Ms. Constance Acevedo,
Yes.
Ms. Celia Green,
Yes.
Ms. Aisha Husbands,
Yes.
Patricia Jewett, oh, I'm sorry, she's not here yet. Joanne Jones,
Yes, and Angel's here at 6:50.
thank you. Shamel Lawrence,
He said yes in the chat.
Christy Montalban, yes. Mr. Angel Morales,
Yes.
Craig Spencer,
Yes.
and Amy Ming Tsai.
Yes.
Okay, I have 10 votes for yes, the motion has passed.
Thank you. And you have the time for Councilmember Morales, correct?
Yes, I have it. Thank you.
Thank you. So we will go to our first item of the agenda, which is the unfinished business. Speaker, Councilmember Spencer.
Thank you, Co-President Tsai. Thank you, fellow council members. Good evening, everyone. This part of the agenda was left over from last business meeting in February because we did the calendar meeting first. So it was no sense of discussing this for the calendar meeting without having a business meeting in front of it. So that's why it's on this agenda. And what I said at that time on February 8th was, I think it's appropriate for us to discuss this. And what it is this council has a responsibility, in my opinion, and I'm only one council member, that we keep a connection to those local District 75 parent elected leaders in individual CECs. Make sure we know what their needs are, make sure we have a ear to the ground in terms of what their needs are locally so we can have their back and support them. And for us to put that in writing in our bylaws, saying that we establish some sort of communication with them on a regular basis. Co-President Green had suggested maybe something along a quarterly basis. There were some objections by Treasurer Angel. Not objections, I don't want to misclassify it. There was some concern. I recognize Treasurer Angel, I recognize Councilmember Husbands, valued voices in this group. And that's why I'm thinking that this is more of a bylaw committee meeting where we can hash this out. We have a little bit of time. I mean, hopefully we can have everything hashed out in the bylaw committee meeting and then bring it back here at one of our last calendar meetings and hopefully implement it. But that's just it in a nutshell. we just want to, I'm proposing that this council leaves some sort of communication guideline with these newly established District 75 parent leaders to in our community. And this is what we're here. This is what we're elected for. This is what these elections are for. And hopefully we could leave it in the bylaws in terms of what that is on a regular basis. So that's all it is for now. I haven't been able to speak with the chair of the bylaws committee, Councilmember Sidiou. And I would like to establish, like, I don't know what her schedule is, and hopefully this could be on the agenda to talk about that. So at this time, if no one has an objection, Councilmember Sidiou, good evening. It's been a minute. Hope all is well with you and your family. Do you have any plans for bylaw committee meeting in the near future where we can discuss this at further length?
Councilmember Spencer, there will be I am planning a bylaws meeting for this month. Since we revised Article 10, the document itself needs some cleaning up with grammar and spelling errors. So I want to go through it and thoroughly handle those items, but there will be a meeting for the bylaws this month. You can just email me, so I'll make it part of the agenda along with the standing rules and other members have suggested, and also the blurbs for the committees.
Thank you, Councilmember Sidiou. So that's where we stand at this time. I don't know if there's any other council member that wants to express anything. But that's about it for right now. I want to just hash this conversation out at a bylaw meeting, committee meeting, because there's other things this council has to decide on tonight. So thank you, Co-President Tsai. Thank you, Co-President Green. Thank you, Councilmember Sidiou. Was there anything, any other council member wanted to say anything else? Co-President Tsai, did you see Co-President Green? Anybody else have their hand up?
No, I don't see any hands up.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so that's where we stand at this point. Members of the public, members of the council, I will, I don't know if it's going to be at our calendar meeting in 2 weeks from now, probably at our, I'll request the co-presidents to put it maybe back on these agenda for April's joint meeting, but that depends on how much the conversation is going forward. So hopefully when Councilmember Sidiou has that bylaw meeting set up, hopefully there's a lot of council members that could come. Hopefully there's a lot of members of the public could come and hear this conversation, and I'm looking forward to following up at that meeting and giving an update in April's joint meeting. That's all I have. Thank you so much, Co-President Tsai. Thank you, council members, for your time.
Thank you. And just to elaborate what you just said, you want this item to be on the April joint meeting for the agenda?
Well, yeah, I would say for business, yeah, just to give an update in terms of where we stand, where the situation stands in committee. Yeah, I'll touch upon it, and then if more than 5 minutes is needed, I'll let you know. But I want to just put it in committee first, and then.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much.
No problem. If we're gonna move forward to the next item, will be is there any other unfinished business of the council?
Okay. Okay. I'll let you know. You stop.
Okay, so we will move forward to new business of the council, which is the deadline for the last modification for the budget. We will need to review and vote. So Treasurer Angel.
Okay, you don't pull out a bill in front of me.
Sorry, I'm here. Just give me 1 second. Can everybody see the screen, or I'm adjusting? Give me my apologies. Let me minimize.
Yeah, I do.
I know you do, buddy. All right. So for the council members, are we able to see the proposed final budget on the screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Am I able to go ahead and start? I hear someone in the
Okay.
background. I want everyone to be able to hear me. Are we set?
Go ahead.
Okay, good. So for the options of what I'm trying to do for the council with the adjustments on the first line, I have moved $500, which will be added from line 6A6, which is our consultant line. Before I begin, I would like to say that we have we initially allotted $3,000 for our annual report writer. And as I've learned as a new council member, the first we did last year, which was the first in 10 years, we were able to get certain levels of data to be able to.
Councilmember Angel, can you just hold off a second? I see
Yes.
Councilmember Suyudu's hand on.
Yes.
Councilmember Suyudu?
Oh, I didn't want to interrupt Councilmember Angel. I just wanted to state that Councilmember Jewett is down here in Tweed with me now. She's arrived.
Okay. Recording Secretary Montalvan, can you put Councilmember Jewett's attendance presence?
Will not move around.
Councilmember Angel, you can continue. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is everyone okay to visually see what I'm speaking on with the screen? Is that okay?
No, I can't see it at all. Sorry, it's too small.
You can't see it all, or should I make it bigger or?
Yeah. Make it larger, please. Thank you. Sorry.
Okay. So I'll move this over just to the part where I'm discussing. So for the changes, I'm sorry, bear with me, guys. So these are the changes that we're making to the budget that I am recommending for changes to the budget as following. Just representing the changes. We had no money allocated for the printing of objects for what we needed with the council. So I'm requesting to move $500 from line 686, which is our consultant line, because as I stated before, our data is not available, not to place blame or anything in that regard, but we won't have what we need available before June 30th to accomplish the $3,000 that's in our balance. What I am suggesting is that I work and support our council members so that we can bring a end of the year report before we leave this council June 30th. And then once the new council comes in, the information that we have given to them will help them support the data that comes in, and they can finish the reports later with the next season that comes in. So with that being said, the printing cost, we have never used this line before, but I want to move $500 from our consultant line, the $3,000 that we're shifting. I'm sorry. Forgive me. I'm moving it from for $500 because we don't have a banner. We were requested to come to the disability parade, and that's when we realized we don't have it. So we needed a banner. We need a retractable banner that is similar to the district when we went to the different outreach projects. We need something of our own. And with the retractable banner, it's about $120. The banner is about $65. We need a tablecloth for reception sign in. So when people come, they see the signage, they know who we are. We've been borrowing this from the district. So I would like to settle our council in with the signage, with the banners, and with the different things that we need when we go out and face forward to the public. So I moved $500 there. There is $400 that's been moved from office supplies to parent involvement. As we know, last year, or if we don't know, I would like to say we had a big portion of our budget that was left over. So we used those items to bulk buy. So we technically are okay with a lot of different items when it comes to supplies for the office. So I am requesting that we leave it at $100 and move the $400 out. For the equipment, this line here, 332. This was the money that we used to buy the projector, the camera, etc., for us to do hybrid meetings. $21 was left over. I am proposing that we move that to reimbursements. The reason that I want to move a lot of things to reimbursements is that we do not have an AA. We do not have a P card, and everything that we will need to do will need to be through the purchasing order. Now, if we cannot get purchasing orders done, then council members, for example, the $37 for January through June for us to continue our website is $37 a month. That's $222 a month. That is allowed in our reimbursements, which I've moved because we don't have an AA, we don't have a P card, and purchasing orders are very hard to come by. And at least if a member, as I have been, and Mrs. Husbands has been for the last 2 months, we have paid for it. So for other members who want to pay the $37, make sure we keep everything going. For the new members that are coming in, for ourselves, for our constituents, we need to make sure that we pay it. That's fine, that's included. The next step is the local travel, meeting, and expenses, which we did speak about. This was a line item where if we had an AA and we wanted to buy maybe snacks or something for a meeting, we would be able to. We've not accomplished that yet, but we also don't have a P card. So my recommendation is to move $250 from line item 452, meeting expenses, to meeting reimbursement line item 496. Additionally, this is a big part of it, parent involvement. My goal as the outreach chair, I would like to move over the additional monies, $250, $1,100, et cetera, so that we have a full cap of this $3,350. That means we can effectively do our next dinner for the awards, for the presentations. We can do a lot of things for parent members. We do have to budget. We do have to get the lowest number, et cetera. But I do want us to diligently think about how we spend our monies and to use them in a way that we can effectively use our budget. So this is why I'm requesting to move certain things to parent involvement, to printing, et cetera. The next line would be reimbursement. So we've increased this by $2,000 plus, $2,056. No, $2,056 is what we've spent. We've increased it by $2,050, maybe because of the fact that we have $18,015 left. This is an additional $250 added from line 452. In the fact that we do have an administrative consultant, when you see this space, this is what we're talking about for the annual report writer. We initially put $3,000 into line item 686. I have effectively removed all $3,000 and reportioned it to where we can move effectively within the council. I'm going to be honest. I really need council members that can help me pull this portion of the annual report committee across the line. I need all chairs of any committees to be committed to writing reports. We need to be responsible and let our constituents know what we have done, what we are doing, and how we can do it better, and how we need them. Additionally, I have moved $500 from printing. We spoke about that earlier in regard to the banners, in regard to the printing for the sign-in, et cetera. And then we moved $400 from line 689 to 686, which is consultantship. I do not know if there are any council members who know people who might need to be paid to speak. So I'm requesting that we move our speaker honoraria to $400. So if there's something that the council needs to do where we need to pay somebody for a workshop, for a presentation, for anything that we need, because normally we don't have to pay, but in the sense that we need to, we have it. So my request is that we move $400 over to the to 689, $500 for printing, $250 that'll be added over to reimbursements. And actually, let me, if I can make this smaller, here we go. I would like everybody to see. These are the requests that we have. $500 added from line 686 for banners, for retractable banner, for the reception tablecloth where it shows the symbol of District 75, et cetera, because we need a lot of branding. We do, as a council, we do not have branding. As a district, we do. And we lean into and request support from the district, and they give it to us, and that is completely great. However, moving forward, there are certain aspects that we do need as a council that we can pay forward to other council members when they come. So these are my options. Moving $400 from office supplies. At the end of last year, we did do a huge bulk purchase. So after going in and seeing the inventory, there's not really much that we need before June of this year. So I would like to leave $100 in. If people do have things they want purchased, we need to go ahead and actuate the purchase orders, let Jose know what's what, so that we can make those things move before the deadline. Are there any questions?
I don't see any hands up as of yet, Treasurer Angel. There's a lot of moving parts on this budget. I think just everyone's reading it.
Okay, I'll wait a moment for people to catch up, and then if you can, I see Co-President Green's hand is raised.
Thank you, Treasurer Angel. I agree with you about the branding and we did have a tablecloth, as common knowledge. We did have a tablecloth. It was stolen or lost or something. This is years ago. So I do agree. We definitely need to do that to replace that. But what I was going to ask is, you said to move 400, you're suggesting to move $400 into speaker honoraria. Do we have money in that line before?
Here's the thing. There are many, if we look here, even for originally, if I'm being honest, I would have preferred that $400 to go into classified advertising. When we're looking for parents who are not being met where they are, I remember riding the train like Mr. Spencer, he's an MTA conductor. You know, when you're on the train, our commutes are very long, and we can reach our parents at AM New York, New York Post. Now, being sound-minded, $400 is not much for ads. We may possibly get 2. But if we strategically place those ads at certain times at the end of the year, it could be beneficial. So that could be a portion. We would need to look into what the details are to make sure our hands aren't tied. We left a lot of money on the table at the end of last year based on, you know, we have to do bids and pick the lowest bidder, and that's fine. But I want to be able to make our budget as flexible as possible so that we can do the most that we need to do for our parents and reach people that we haven't reached in a while, considering we've had different council members state that we've had conflict and issues with communication. So I think that it could be something that we could step into with the classified advertising. However, if we do not choose to do a physical advertising, we can completely advertise digitally, and that's different. It would be our council members paying for it ahead of time and being reimbursed. That's why there is a cushion in the reimbursement platform. Additionally, our website is from January through June, $37 a month, $222. I factor that in. Myself and council member husbands has been kind enough to help me to pay that so that we can keep our website moving forward. So those things are moved into reimbursements. What I want to say is this: we have $20,071 in reimbursements. A good portion of that is for the fact that we may need to pay out of pocket for a lot. And we want to make sure that our council members can be reimbursed for their helpfulness to help us move effectively, since we do not have the AA, a P card, and things of that nature. So that's why a lot of things are very low on the side of purchasing orders, because it will be very hard for us to, it has been hard for us to close out purchasing orders. So I want to make it easier for our council members and easier for us to get reimbursed and easier for us to help parents. So I believe the items that we do have listed on the comment section would be good recommendations. I would like to move that these recommendations, as they are listed, be accepted and implemented for our final budget. Does anyone have any further questions? If not, oh, two people. I give me 1 second. Co-chair Sai,
Councilmember
can you see?
Spencer.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Spencer?
Thank you, Treasurer Angel. Thank you, Co-President Sai. I'll first off just thank you for the hard work that you've done. I'll just leave it at that. I'm very appreciative. Can you go into in terms of parent involvement, any end of the year plans?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes. So what we do know is, during the pandemic, we kind of scrambled because there were a lot of places where things weren't happening typically. And I will just say, I am a new council member, so I'm very new to what a lot of people have done for 6, 8, or 30 plus years. So there were spaces where we've been allowed to create different platforms for our parents. And so what I'm looking for now is at the end of the day, we would have $3,350. What I am proposing is we make our awards dinner bigger. We have a lot of constituents. We have a lot of stakeholders that do a lot. Last year, we were only able to invite 70. This year, we're able to increase it and to say thank you in a bigger way. And I would really love to do that. And that's why I have enlightened and increased the parent involvement section. I would like to try to reach people that we haven't reached. I know we have the conference that will be coming up that will not be in conflict with the forum that the district is doing. So we could promote that digitally. We can promote it physically, and we can pay people to attend. Not to attend, to present if possible, because there are some people that are very great that just cost money. Unfortunately, that's part of what it is. And that's why I wanted to move the $400 down. We've come into places where we're trying to do this sexuality, navigating sexuality, chair husbands has been an extreme part of this. I did not know it was so hard to accomplish a lot of things that we need to do for our children. So if we have a little bit of wiggle room, I think that might be able to help us, considering we left a lot of money on the table last year. I really want us to be able to effectively use our budget before June 30th. Did that help, or do I need to add, answer anything else?
Apologies, Tristan. No,
don't apologize at all. Please don't. I just want to make sure we're clear. That's all.
So is just the awards dinner and the awards dinner is the main thing, I guess, for the end of the year and then the conference.
Correct.
Okay.
And I would like to do it bigger and better. We based on the bids and the type of bids that we had last year, we were only able to use $891. It was very limited. It was very great. I won't complain. But when it comes to our parents and our constituents and our stakeholders and what they do for us, I think it should be a great space where we get to celebrate them at the end of the year and thank them. And if we can't do what we need to do, I'm okay with leaving money in this place in the battle of trying to get it done. In the other places, I think that making sure that we set up our next council that comes in, whether we're here or not, we're going to need the banners. You're going to march. We're going to need the retractable banners. You're going to go and do outreach. We're going to need the reception tablecloth. We borrow a lot from the district, and I'm extremely grateful that they are always at the standby to help us. However, we need to help ourselves, use our budget effectively, and get the things that we do need for ourselves. So my proposal, I'm sorry, go ahead, Mr. Spencer.
No, I was just saying I'm good. Thank you, Treasurer Angel.
More than welcome. So my proposal will be for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 items in yellow, which will technically be motions moving 400 from the line 198 to parent involvement 489, etc. I wanted to write them out to support Councilmember Montalban. However, I would like to make a motion to accept the recommendations for the budget finalization. If there are any questions or adjustments that you might want to see, I'm extremely open to them. If not, I would request it to be put forward for a second. Thank you.
Thank you. If there is no other discussion on the budget and we would like to move forward with Councilmember Angel's motion, we will need a second.
Stop TV, stop bringing.
President Angel, do you want to pull down the share screen?
100. No, you just did
Thank
not.
you.
No, not in this room, please. Oh,
Co-President Sai, I'll second Treasurer Angel's.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Angel motions the adoption of the last modification for Citywide Council for District 75, seconded by Councilmember Spencer. We will take a roll call. Recording Secretary Montalban.
Okay, we are voting to adopt the last modification of the budget as presented by Councilmember Angel. Ms. Christie Angel,
so you know.
Yes.
Constance Azizu,
Abstain. I'm unable to raise my hand for comment, and I did have some questions, but you don't need my vote to pass it. So thank you.
Ms. Celia Green,
Yes,
I'm sorry, the vote was yes?
yeah. Yes, the vote was yes.
Yes. Okay, Ms. Aisha Husbands,
Yes.
okay, Ms. Patricia Jewett,
Yes.
Ms. Joanne Jones,
Yes.
Mr. Shamel Lawrence,
We'll come back to Mr. Councilmember Lawrence.
I see yes in the chat.
No problem. Move
Ms.
forward.
Christine Montalban, yes. Mr. Angel Morales,
Yes.
Mr. Craig Spencer,
Yes.
and Ms. Amy Ming Tsai.
Yes.
Okay, we have 10 votes for yes, the motion is passed.
Thank you for adopting the budget. We will be able to use this money for the remaining 4 months of the council of this term. We will go to the next item for this evening on the new business, which is Speaker Councilmember Spencer for the Sunset Park High School discussion.
Yeah.
Thank you, Co-President Sai. With this discussion, I want to bring Councilmember Husbands if she's able to. She was able to. She heard it first. So Councilmember Husbands, can you start off in terms of just how you heard of it, and I'll just tie it up in terms of how it's concluded. Do you mind, or I don't want to speak for you?
No, I don't mind. I actually was contacted by a member of CCSE regarding a issue at Sunset Park High School, one of the D75 classes regarding space. But I wasn't given details, and I unfortunately was working that day that we had the meeting scheduled. So I believe you were one of the few that were able to attend, and you received more details than I did at that point. So you can pick it up from there if you wish.
Thank you, Mr. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that because I heard it after you heard it. So let me just want to be brief because I know time is of the essence. Just going back to the meeting that was scheduled. Forgive me. It was last week. I believe it was the 22nd. Yeah. So the situation is, no, actually it was the 21st. Ms. Paulette Healy and Ms. Francine Almash, District 75 parents on Citywide Council for Special Education. They live near the Sunset Park High School. They're familiar with it. And apparently, right after Christmas break, the space for the inclusion program and the 15 one-to-one program there was significantly reduced. And it's unclear as to how that was gone about in terms of consulting 371K's principal and how that's going to affect all D75 students involved. Unfortunately, I don't have any direct. I asked to get Principal Miller's email address. I haven't gotten it to date. But when I did meet with Ms. Healy and Ms. Almash on the 21st, I was the only member of our council, and she showed me pictures that they were basically put in an oversized closet, and basically the 15 to 1-to-1 and the inclusion programs are set to operate out of there. And there's a condition in reference to soundproofing to make the 15 to 1-to-1 students feel it's just not acceptable. And what Ms. Healy and Ms. Almash was requesting was an immediate tour of the space, some collaboration from District 75 management, which they didn't get at the time. They requested and hadn't heard a response back. And I was requested to see if there's something we could do about that. And I didn't speak for the council on the 21st. I just said I'd reach out. And mind you, it was winter break, and I didn't make any promises, but I said that as a fellow D75 parent advocate, I'm going to do my best to help out the situation. I included the council in terms of that correspondence after the 21st, which Ms. Healy and Ms. Had stated that she had brought in Superintendent Ross, which is the high school superintendent for Brooklyn North, in terms of getting ready to tour the school once school resumed after winter break. And they just needed the Superintendent Louisant to be on board and to communicate what his availability to help to rectify the situation in an equitable manner. Superintendent Louisant had reached out to me because I reached out to him just separately as a former co-president. I just didn't know what the situation was, but he had stated that he had to talk to Principal Miller, who was on vacation because it was winter break, and then he would get an update as soon as he can this week when school returned. And I let at the end of last week, I let Ms. Healy, Ms. Almash, and the rest of this council know that that's what the plans were. And just want to I reached out again to Superintendent this morning in reference to, can you give us an update? I know you said you were going to speak to Principal Miller at the beginning of this week. I didn't get a response from him, but I did get a response from Ms. Healy. So I just want to make sure that it's on public record in terms of where the situation lies at this point. And I wanted to bring it to this council's attention so that way we as our own independent body can decide what to do with our next steps. Just give me a second. I'm just going to bring this on the screen. Appreciate your patience. I thought I had it open. Sorry about that, folks. All right, I'm just opening it up here. Just give me a sec. All right, I'm just going to share my screen, Co-President Tsai. Is that fine?
Sure, if you can wrap it up, and then I will give you 2 minutes because you've went past your 5 minutes that you suggested. And I know we have other items. Thank you.
So can you guys see the screen? I don't know if I could zoom in anymore. But this is from 9:35 this morning from Ms. Healy from CCSE. The wheels are in motion and a plan is in action. She will let this council know if any further assistance is needed. All parties involved in the situation are in place. Don't want any micromanagement. Appreciate our assistance in reaching out to Kettler. He's caught up on the situation. They have it from here, and we'll keep informed if further assistance is needed. So I just want to just publicly put that out there in terms of our participation in this situation. I'll do my best to monitor as capacity committee co-chair in reference to any changes.
You could
But
take
I
down your-
want to make sure that, I'm sorry?
you could take down your
Oh.
screen.
Yes, sorry about that. Yeah, so that's where we stand. I don't know if any other council members had any other questions, but I just wanted to make sure that that was brought to the public's attention, that we were aware of the situation. We did the best action we could with what we had, and we'll monitor it as best we can going forward. Anybody have any questions?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Is there any possibility that we can write up and or share what it will look like, the idea for what we want to do and help and support? Basically, the way that you want to support 1 through 32, is there a way that we can collaboratively make a document or something where everybody can put their feedback in and say, this is what it looks like to help support Craig's vision for the new members that are elected to the 1 through 32?
So this is off this particular subject. Yeah, I mean, I guess I should talk to you on the side. Maybe we could email that amongst the council in terms of a little Google form or something. I'm open to that. But did you have any particular question regarding what I'm
Sunset
presenting?
Park?
Yeah.
Oh, no. I've spoken with Paulette Healy, so I know that everything is tight there. And if I can't get an answer from her, I know I can come to you. I don't have any questions there. Are we still moving forward with the visit on Friday, or are you trying to postpone that? Or are we visiting, following back and like linking up and letting the council know what's what for the next meeting?
Well, I haven't been privy to that information, and I work on Fridays. So I'm just letting, as capacity committee co-chair, I'm being transparent in terms of my involvement in the situation. I was told that it was wrapped up.
I thought the email that Mrs. Healy Christian said he loves you, Craig. The email that Mrs. Healy responded to, I know that she stated that she didn't need additional assistance moving forward, that she had spoken with Superintendent Kettler, et cetera. And I do not want to alienate you. So I want to make sure that there's nothing that we need to do to make sure that we support you as we support Paulette and Superintendent Kettler in that motion. Is there anything that we need to do to make sure that our council and you are supported at the same time?
I would just say that, and thank you, Treasurer Angel. I would just say, as I'm being transparent, my work schedule is a bit challenging and doing council work, so just include the council. That's the only thing I can say, and then I could just I'll consult with my other co-chairs and I'll consult with Co-President Tsai and Co-President Green, but it just include the entire council. Appreciate that.
Thank you. I'll turn it over to Co-President Tsai. Thank you, Mr. Spencer.
Co-President Green has her hand up.
Councilmember Spencer, I wanted to know, is it just the two programs within Sunset Park? So is it Sunset Park High School and whatever D75 happens to be in the building? And is there only one in that building?
From what I heard from Ms. Healy and Ms. Almash, there was a 15-to-1 program and an inclusion program, which was on the first floor in separate rooms. And when they came back from Christmas vacation, they were told they needed to be condensed into one basically oversized closet.
Okay. My other question was this, because you said they were told. meaning by Sunset Park's principal, or was this something that came down from the Office of District Planning, or like what was the initiation? Who and why was that initiated? Maybe I can put that.
From my understanding from Ms. Healy and Ms. Almash, it was from Sunset Park High School. And from what Superintendent Louison said, that Principal Miller and Sunset Park High School were in discussion in terms of making sure whatever changes is trying to be implemented is equitable for our students. You can't put a 15 to 1-to-1 class in a closet. That's not acceptable. We're not garbage pail kids. Our kids deserve the space that's allotted for us. So that's as much as I.
But I'm going to ask one other question. Because I'm assuming they have building council, everybody does that has a co-location. Was any of this discussed in building council before it came forward to everyone else?
I didn't get that far. I was hoping that I'd be included and the council would be included, but if it was presented, I'm not aware of it. And in terms of the Sunset Park High School Building Council, I wasn't made aware of that. And I don't have Principal Miller's email address. I want to respect superintendent reaching out and all that. I didn't want to supersede or what have you. I'm just disclosing what I know.
Thank
and
you.
I'll do my best to follow up.
Thank you, Councilmember Spencer.
Thank you, Co-President Green.
Thank you. So we don't have any other hands up. Councilmember Spencer, would you like to have this updates for the council at the next calendar meeting? In your report of your committee?
Yes, and that's yes, if you can put that on the agenda for the 15th, for two weeks from today. That's something we need to ask Superintendent Louison what the status is. I don't know if you or Co-President Green could get Principal Miller on our call for the 15th and see if she could speak to our community in reference to that. That'd be great. I'd ask her that, but if it can at least be on the agenda, I'll work with you guys as best as I can in reference to, because like I said, that's not equitable. So thank you.
Thank you. We will go to the next item because we have a lot of items on this agenda this evening that's added. If we can have our busing chair, Councilmember Lawrence, report an update. And then our outreach chair, Councilmember Angel, and Councilmember Husbands for the transition committee. Councilmember Lawrence, are you there?
You're gonna have to come back to me.
Councilmember Angel for outreach. Okay, we'll come back. Councilmember Husbands, are you there to update on the transition? I'm on safety, I'm sorry.
Yeah, safety. I'm in the safety chair. One second. Yes. So today we actually had this is Aisha Husbands. Today we actually had a safety committee meeting following up on the travel training, because we know that every child is eligible or able to travel independently. So we wanted to present a workshop that would focus on preparing and fostering independence in our children. We were joined again by Mr. David Abrahams from the Travel Training Program. The presentation/workshop will be uploaded to our website, our YouTube page, and I will put the page in the chat for those who aren't aware of it. And we are looking forward to present a few more before the term is up. And if anyone has any suggestions, like Mr. Spencer suggested, a great idea, and I did contact Mr. Rampasad and Miss Mary Mason, and we're trying to narrow down a few dates. And so let me complete my sentence. If anyone has any ideas about future meetings or workshops that you would like to see regarding safety, and when I say safety, it's not just the physical safety, mental health, physical health, emotional health, then please let me know. Email me, email the council, and it will get to me. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Spencer, do you have a question for Councilmember Husbands?
Yeah, I want to recognize the great work that Ms. Husbands is doing for the committee. And just to elaborate what she mentioned, my suggestion was the last Panel for Education Policy Committee, Panel for Education Policy meeting, what was it, 14th, 15th of February, a contract was passed for gates, not gates, but it's a upgrade in locking down schools. And the DOE, in terms of how they communicated that effect for different communities, was lacking. It wasn't sufficient. And I immediately thought of our kids. I immediately thought of 2 Aprils, last April or so, with the shooting in Sunset Park, and how, how are you going to lock down kids? What happens if a kid, one of our kids, is locked out of the school and can't get back in? So that's an immediate safety issue. And I emailed the council after the PEP meeting. Hey, that's something that Mr. Rampersant was great to come to us, to our council, after the shooting in Sunset Park. Hopefully he can come back to us now that the DOE knows that they were insufficient in terms of communicating to other members, to the communities, how that would specifically work. Our families would want to know, how does that work? How does an upgraded lockdown work? And it was like after the Michigan State shooting, basically. So that's where that's come from. So thank you, Ms. Husbands, for following up and making sure the our community knows that we have their safety in mind.
Thank you. I just had one more thing. I know that your schedule, all of our schedules changes. So if you have questions, they're going to give us 3 dates. I think it will be in the daytime, not in the evening. I think it will be before 5, because they asked for that specifically. So if you have questions, anyone, but particularly you, because I know that you're passionate about this, if you have questions or ideas, and if you could just jot them down, and then we can relay that to them during the meeting and get those questions answered and addressed, because we don't want to miss the opportunity for everyone's voice to be heard. So not only you, Mr. Spencer, anyone else that may have some questions or concerns, if you can jot those down and put them possibly in a Word document or an email, and then the day of the meeting, we will ask your questions for you. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't see any hands, so we will go to Councilmember Angel for her outreach update from her committee.
Thank you, Co-President Tsai. I'm not sure how this shows up for everybody. I want to pull it over so that it's not massive in the screen. Are you able to hear me and see everyone? Hello?
If you can zoom it just a little bit, I think for
Hold on. Better?
Yes.
Okay. First, I would like to say thank you to Co-President Tsai, and thank you to Councilmember Husbands for the phone calls and work that we've been doing for the last month to make sure that legislators have been called and that they're aware of what we're doing. Let me not be absent-minded and not thank our Vice President, Patricia Jewett, for the work that you have done additionally to help us pull this across the board. In the interim, our room that we have at Tweed only accommodates 74 people. As we have it now, we are at 72. That's with all of the invitations that council members have asked me to send out regarding stakeholders and people with District 75. As we do know, and we did vote, this is for education purposes, and legislators were very targeted with what we're doing. With that being in mind, I'd like to walk through the agenda. So we will start from 9:30 to 11 a.m. And with that being said, there's a continental breakfast. At 10 a.m. through 10:15, we will have our welcome, our introduction, our recognition of members, introduction of District 75. And we do have, and I'm so excited because I love transparency. I love people being able to be frank and honest and give us real issues and real coloring to things that are happening. So we have principal perspectives. We have Principal Corey Reagan from Staten Island. We have Jessica Pinter, assistant principal, who's stepping in for Barbara Tremblay. We have Stephen Mintzer and Francis Pierre for our teacher perspective. And I am so excited about Nathan Wilson and Arlene Wilson that are stepping in for our student and parent perspective. He is a student council member, and I have heard so much about him that I am excited that he gets to be our student to represent his feelings and his experience within District 75. We will additionally talk about our call to action, policy solutions. We need our students to be properly bused. As we know, my why is very big. I know that a lot of people are saying, well, we need to do this, we need to do that. Busing is happening, rah, rah, rah. We know that busing issues cannot change without legislation. So we are trying to help our legislative council committee run. It's like, how can we meet the city council members, the senators, the assembly people to make sure that our legislative committee is equipped to do what we need to do for our council? So this is our first start to make sure that people know who District 75 is, what we need, making sure our students are properly bused and getting to school. There are several students who have not made it to school yet. That's a problem. Busing is a problem. At the end of the day, we know that's a problem. We want to ensure that proper services are received by District 75 students. We have a lot of services, a lot of programs, and a lot of initiatives that are not quite implemented the way that they could be, and we need help to make sure that it is. We want to make sure that there is appropriate transition out of New York public schools or at the age of 21. There's not enough funding to get the appropriate teachers or leaders or people to stay and sustain what we need for our children. So there's spaces where we really need our legislators to come in and to help us. From 10:30 to 10:50 p.m. Right now, we do have confirmed speakers of Senator John Liu, Public Advocate Jermaine Williams, City Council Chair Rita Joseph, City Council Member Mercedes Narcisse, and City Council Member Eric Denowitz. We do have space for other members to speak because it is heavily legislative. We want them to know who we are, and we also want to meet them. So I do encourage any of our members or the invited people that are here tonight, come on time. There's a 30-minute plus window for you to meet people. It is imperative that you meet, that they hear your voice, that they know who you are, that they know who we are, they know who to contact so we can make moves to effectively change and move forward with our community. We'll have a Q&A session, and then we will have our meeting adjourned. So we do have, as you see, different speakers, and I am honestly excited about how empowered everything will be and how we will be. And for our students, I know that Vice President Jewett has great things to say. Paulette Healy, which is our District 75 representative on CCSE. We have transition coordinates. We have teachers and UFT people. We have a lot of support and try to say, in our push, help us. We are your constituents in every single place that you are in, and we need you to be attached to us to be able to make the changes that we need. Currently, as I said, we do have about 72 people that are hard RSVP'd, that will be coming, et cetera. I do thank you to all of the members who have submitted, stakeholders who really care about our community, education members who do care. I do look forward to those members that are coming. If any members have not confirmed with me that you are coming, please let me know so that you can be a part of everything that is going on. I'm going to wrap it up. If any members have any questions, the floor is open.
Thank you, Councilmember Angel, for your work. I don't see any hands. I see Councilmember Lawrence and then Co-President Green.
Yeah, I just want to verify that because I didn't receive no invite, nothing. But I know I had told you I would be there with somebody. Did you, Miss Angel? Did you receive that?
Yes, sir.
never-
I don't want
Thank
to cut
you.
you off by any means. For all council members, there were no invitations submitted because my understanding is that you will be there. If you will not be there, then that's fine. If you do have any council member, Lawrence, I know that you went to the Black Caucus and different things in DC, and I was waiting for you to send me a couple of people. I will leave at least the space open. If you have people that you want to make sure they come, just contact me tonight or in the morning, and I'll try to do my best to make sure that they can be present. I think I've heard from everybody on the council, but I don't want to negate anyone from being able to ask people to come. But as I have it right now, Mr. Spencer, Lord, long day. I have you with a +1 with the commissioner. If we need to add more, I have no problem doing that. I'll send out formal invites. Just please let me know and we'll circle back to that tonight or tomorrow morning.
No. Thank you. You already have her. It was Rita Johnson, but the commissioner will be popping in with me. Yeah,
Okay,
that's right.
perfect,
Correct.
perfect.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. President Tsai, you have the floor.
Co-President Green, you have a hand up?
Thank you, Co-President Tsai. Councilmember Angel, is there a list available for council members only? Is there a list available of attendees?
Absolutely, there's a list available for attendees. We do have that forwarded to the security for the tweet office. I will go ahead and send that the invited list, the confirmed list, and I can send all of the members the agenda. If there's any additional information that anyone needs, please let me know. I don't mind sharing anything. I know the children from, which if people don't know, we are having our students from District 75 cater, and it's so big. We have some people from the 14th Street Alliance that District 75 has been working with. We have chefs to come in to check on our children, and just to watch them be able to be an example of what we're trying to show we need assistance with. There are children from travel training that are bringing the food. I'm so excited to be able to show off who we are and what we need so that we can move forward in a different way. However, I will try to make sure that all of the documents that are currently, be quiet, Christian. All of the documents that are currently available will be sent out to all council members. And if there's anything else that you need in addition outside of that, please let me know and I will make sure that everyone is on the same page.
Thank you, Councilmember Angel. Councilmember Lawrence, go ahead because he put his hand back up.
Yeah, just two things. I'm glad to hear that we have our kids doing it. I would ask, is there any media that's going to be seeing this of our kids doing this? And then the next thing I would suggest is, since we talked about not leaving money over, I would suggest maybe doing something nice for our kids, maybe some kind of pizza party or some kind of treat for them doing this, because they're not getting paid from us. So at least we could do is give them something.
Mr. Lawrence, I completely agree with you. Considering the amount of money that we've moved over to parent involvement, I would love to speak with you to try to figure out how we can format that to celebrate our children on student councils, the students in different spaces, whatever that may look like. I'm willing to work with you to build that out so that we can make sure that we celebrate everyone.
Sound good. Thank you.
More than welcome.
Oh, is there any media? Do you know?
Initially, I wanted to put out media, and Vice President Patricia Jewett did speak about that as well. But a few people stated that, we want to kind of keep this intimate. You get only one chance at a first impression. And I'll be honest, I have done publicity before, and I'm used to doing back-ended publicity. We are going to be taking photos at the event. They will not be focused photos. They will be offhanded, just taking in the moment photos to let people know what's what. We will have some targeted pictures, and then we will write up a press release and a press kit, and we will send it to news outlets, because it's important for people to know not only what we're doing, but how we need them to help us do what we're doing.
So let me ask you something. If I was able to make a connection with News One or Pix 11 to come and get it confirmed by tomorrow sometime, would you accept it?
I don't think it's a bad thing, but I'll be very honest with you. As of last year, we have a very massive list for the annual report where it's going out to legislators. We have a media list. We have a community-based organizations list. And so I would not want to tell you no. I will say this: move however you can move to make it effective for our constituents and our parents. And then when we finish on the back end, we can not only use your person, but we can also use all of the items we have. I will actually, let me slow down a bit. I've created flyers for welcoming folks. I've created comment cards, and we've also created our first legislative info book. So there's a lot of information that we can get out, a lot of information that I want to make sure goes wide. So I would love it if you could work with me, in addition to Ms. Jewett, to make sure that you guys get launched appropriately when it comes to the legislative committee, because whether we're here or not, we need to empower that committee to make changes. We talk about so much, but we know that legally, you know more than anybody, because you go to Albany a lot. We need to really touch base with legislators to make differences, and we need to celebrate the people that are doing the work so that they can continue to do so.
Got you.
So let's touch base soon. I'm sorry, I see Miss Jewett's hands up. Co-members, co-chair side, I don't want to take over. If you want to.
Councilmember Jewett. You're unmuted, so we don't hear you.
What happened?
Councilmember Jewett, are you there? Co-President Green, are you with Councilmember Jewett?
No, I'm not at tweet.
I know you can hear me.
Now we can hear you.
I'm not
Use
muted.
my device. Use talking to.
Whatever device
I'm not muted. I was never, I got that, but now I'm like real loud. I mean, I don't understand what's going on.
You're not too loud, Miss Jewett. You're not loud at all. Go ahead. Oh no, she's muted again. Worst case scenario, Miss Jewett, if you can call me, we can speak. I'm available. I have you plugged into the agenda, et cetera, but I do want to hear what you have to say.
Talking this.
But I am.
Let's see you do.
Yes, talk into mine, please, Miss Jewett. Talk into the device so she can.
Thank you. Yes, please talk into Miss Theodore's device.
Yes, as I said several times now, all I'm saying is the wonderful booklets that you're creating, the legislative booklets, will there be extras so council members can feel free to deliver those, hand deliver those to the elected officials that they know and have.
Yes, absolutely.
That's all. That's
Yes,
all
ma'am.
I'm going to share.
Yes, thank you. I'm so sorry I couldn't hear you earlier.
I know, I must be muted on your end because my device has me so loud that I'm echoing in my.
No, yeah, we didn't hear you at all. So my answer is yes.
But that's all I'm gonna do. That's it. It's just a wonderful, because Denowitz's office is right down the block from my granddaughter's school.
Yes, I remember you had stated that, and it was so great because we had sent out the invitations and you were able to follow up, et cetera. everything that you will need. This is literally a platform to push you off and launch you as you move forward in legislation. So wherever you need support after this meeting ends at 11:30 a.m., you have it.
Thank you, because Senator Robert Jackson he's very strong on education.
I know, and I would love
Education,
him to
definitely.
come, but they aren't able to come or send staff. But that doesn't mean that the next event we do, he can't come to. So absolutely, wherever you need to target, wherever I can support you guys for legislation after we launch this outreach, I will give that to you. I will pass all the list forward for contact for you, everything that I've created, templates, etc., so that I can help you guys move forward. You absolutely can have it.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're more than welcome.
All right.
Thank you. Do we have any other council members who would like to say something in regards to what Councilmember Angel has updated? If not, we will go to our busing committee chair, Lawrence. Co-President Green.
I'm sorry, it's not on either. We seem to have an extra co-host. That's not a council member. I just wanted to know if Ms. Garrison was a face person or something.
You know, it could be a mistake. I'll take her down. Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilmember Lawrence,
Are you ready for me to give the busing committee report?
Yes.
Okay, because I ain't hearing nothing. You got quiet. All right, so we met on the oh my God, we met on February the 21st. It was well attended. We had some new issues that came in. As I stated at the busing committee, when we started off, when I first took over, we had a total of 600 and some plus complaint. We was down last month. We got that down to a possibility number of 9. It went back up. Then at the last meeting, we was able to come back down to 5. I heard Councilmember Angel say about 7 parents that haven't had bus service. I would greatly appreciate if she could connect me with them, because everybody who we have been on board aware of their situation, there have been action taken. And even after the action been taken, we have a consistently plan to keep following and checking in with them on a month-to-month basis. As we wind down, there will be something special happening with the busing committee that will take place in person close to the end. I will be sharing out more information about that shortly. There's a couple upcoming events with PICS that will be happening. There was one last night that was virtual, but they have something coming up on, I want to say March 21st. It's on Saturday. It's like a gathering, and they will be honoring some parents and stuff. So I'm pretty sure the email was sent out to the council. If you could partake in that. I am reviewing some documents that on CSC, the resolution. We should be ready to move forward with that at the next meeting. It was just sent out to all the council members. We should all have it. And that's pretty much it. Oh, when we was in Albany, there was some strong talk about some things that will be looking different for busing. One of the things that we talked about was AC. You know, it shouldn't AC and heat. It shouldn't be a requirement. It shouldn't be an ask. It should be a given. They looking to do some resolution and changing around that in legislative that all buses will have those 2 things and a few other things. So it will be more information. Hopefully I could have that by our calendar meeting. Our next meeting will be the 3rd Tuesday of March, which will be the 21st again. It will be 6 p.m. and will be on Zoom platform, same link, same everything. And I hope to see some people there. And I thank on the council members who have been participating in those things. And that concludes that report. But I just want to recognize Staten Island, Miss Martha, her awesome thing that she did today. We was able to provide hot meals to 100 vets, and that her school had a nice ceremony. So we fed 100 vets. So thank you, Miss Baltimore. It was well received by them. That concludes my report. Thank you.
And thank you, Councilmember Lawrence. Do we have any council members that like to say anything? Okay, we will move to back to, I apologize, Councilmember Spencer. Did you want to update on the elections for the CECs?
Thank you, Co-President Sai. Yes, so for those of you who may or may not know, candidate forums have began. The deadline to apply as a candidate was last Thursday, the 23rd. So I wanted to take this opportunity to just Councilmember Husbands, and I believe Treasurer Angel had asked if I can connect with Gloria Casino regarding some collaboration. I did speak to her. It's just my work schedule has been kind of crazy, and she was wrapping up just preparing for the deadline for the candidates. So I have the next 2 days off. I'm gonna try to reach out to her again to see if I could set something up going into before spring break in mid-April, specifically on this particular subject. So I'm going to share my screen. There's a couple of things I want to bring to the attention of our public, if our council, if not our public, definitely our public, well, everybody basically. All right, so this is the link I want to put in the chat in terms of you go to the website to find out more information on the election. Where we stand, you'll get all the schedules in terms of the candidate forums. Excuse me. Let me just get back to here. Right. So there's notes that I have for myself in reference to candidate forum schedules. It's set up for each district and for citywide count for District 75 and CCSC, so on and so forth. It started this week. It started Monday. I didn't get any. I don't know, Co-President Sai, if you heard anything from this past Monday's forum for D75 parents in the Bronx. This is for those parents that are looking to run for seats on local CECs. So the Bronx was this past Monday. Brooklyn South will be next Monday. Next Monday, right? Yeah, I think next Monday. Yeah. Oh, actually, it's 2 Mondays from now. Brooklyn North will be right after our calendar meeting. You guys can see this, right?
Yeah, we see it, Mr. Spencer. And if you like, I could provide an update because I'm not one of the moderators for the elections.
Yeah, great. Yeah, if you, I'll toward the end, Mr. Lawrence. Thank you, sir. Yeah, so Brooklyn North, Brooklyn South, and Brooklyn North. Brooklyn South is the 13th. Brooklyn North is the 16th. So what happens on this website here? You register, and each forum is 6 p.m. Via learning time. So you got to register on the site, 6 p.m. That's the Zoom on each date that you see. Queens is the 23rd of March. Manhattan is the 27th of March. And Staten Island, Ms. Montavon, 29th of March. So like I said, these borough-based District 7 forums are for those parents that are looking to run for seats on their local CECs. For this council, it's the 22nd. For those that are looking to be on this council in July 1st, the form is the 22nd. I don't know if these are kind of small here. I'm not sure if I can increase, but each district has their own date. I'm not going to go into that right now, but you'll find that also on the site. I just wanted to highlight these dates here because they have specifically for our community. And I think as a council, we need to be aware of it. We need to support it. And along with Mr. Lawrence, who's my co-chair on the election committee, we want to keep the council up to speed in terms of how those go, and if there's any follow-ups that are needed. As for Ms. Corsino's assistance to that. What I want to end off is just stop sharing my screen here. There was brought to my attention, there was a grandparent that was looking to run, and she couldn't log in to be a candidate. And I wanted to put it out there. I don't know in passing, council members, if there are any parents that you knew of that had problems trying to apply to be a candidate. I didn't get all her information, so I haven't passed it on. So go ahead. Let me go ahead.
I want to double dutch and join in this dance with you. Absolutely. Thank you, Christian. There are parents who have submitted who were not able to get through on NICSA. And they literally attempted to, could not get through, reached out to the election committees. Gloria Casino is very aware. And there are multiple parents whose statements are not included. They're not included to be elected. And I am not sure, like, I don't want someone who wants to try to make a change to be disenfranchised. So I'm going to lean into you a little bit to ask, can you find out what's really going on and where we need to support to make sure our checks and balances are, what's the list of people who have said, hey, we're not listed. We submitted, we've done this, we've done that. We want to run. We know we need people to run. And if there are people who are diligent and want to, and they are not listed, that's extremely problematic. I do know there are a lot of great people that care. So my thing is, as they care, I would love to help you in that level of care to make sure that parents' voices are heard and that they can run in the way that they want to. I just don't know what it means. Our deadline was the 23rd, and we turned around immediately 4 days later for the first, forum. So a lot of people may not have known if they're in these areas, et cetera. So if we can try to get something done quickly to turn it around, because the next forum is in like a week or so. Yeah. Not even 2 weeks. So that gives us a little bit of level of cushion, but I know that you have a heavy schedule. I do as well. But in the sense of where we're talking about parent voices, if you need me, please let me know. And I will do whatever I need to do as a council member to support you, to support those parents who want to come on, who want to run, and who need their voices heard. Thank you.
Thank you, Treasurer Angel. Co-presidents, I recognize, let me just say, if we can, for now, if you just compile a list of those parents that weren't able to apply, and I want to just talk offline to see what other things we could set up to try to expedite this. So if you have that list, let's talk offline, and then we'll talk about next steps. So that way, at our calendar meeting on the 15th, we can give the public an update on that. Co-President Sai, go ahead.
So I'd like to say that there is a vetting process once a parent is going through the New York City Schools account, recognizing that some people weren't able to log into their schools accounts, either it's a technical issue or their application was not submitted correctly through the vendor that they have used this time around. The name of the parent and the legal parent or caregiver which that child belongs to, or those set of siblings, they are verifying and matching those accurate legal individuals. So they are in the process to make sure that you know, these are real parents, they're legally by, you know, government roles, because we do hold a public official role. So they are matching that these are legit names with certain, you know, OSIS numbers, and that they are New York City public students, because the only council that is accepting the charter under the DOE jurisdiction, and some of the private programs that are paid by the DOE for special education services is the council of CCSE, which is Citywide Council for Special Education. That's the only council that is accepting outside of our traditional public schools for applicants who do currently have children in the system. So they're right now, they're going through making sure that it's a fair due process, that these are you know, parents, they're parents to the New York City school system, they have current criteria that they meet. I just want to fill that in because I know that we have a long list, and we want to make sure that people are meeting the requirements that they're supposed to with this application service. I would recommend, Gloria is very good with making sure that these list of names are going to be looked into. So reach out to Gloria and Diane Equabel and Paola at Legals at Face. I just want, before Councilmember Lawrence, who is on President's Council and also is a moderator for the forums, I also want to just elevate that President of President's Council and members of the President's Council are also here too. So if that's anything they want to share as well, President Andrea Daniels, but Councilmember Lawrence can go ahead.
Yeah, so this conversation, Mr. Spencer, should not be new to you. This conversation was brought up with Ms. Agard that I brought up last term when we was doing the election. And what seems to happen, as to agree with what Co-President Amy just said, there's a lot of families that their names are not on that blue card, and that's what they vented it off of. And say, for example, if there's a joint custody and all that stuff, then technically speaking, by right, both parents supposed to have a OSA number. They're supposed to be able to run and do what said. But that ain't occurring. So that's why you have this big list that's compiling of people application not showing. Now I do know that it was stated today in a meeting that some stuff have not posted yet. And I know that they had gave that CS special education had a huge amount. I think it was like 300 or something. We was up there, but I know that they said that there was some paper ballots that have not been posted. Applications have not been posted yet. So if you want, we could set up something with Gloria Casino, but we definitely have to write it. And as for those statements, some people just didn't write a statement. They leave it blank, and I don't understand that. And we have to encourage families that you need to just, write something there, and yeah, it's just a lot of stuff that we have to do. And then people have to understand the two different seats. Like you said, there's the 1 through 32 that are those different separate thing, and then it's the one for the citywide, which is the 22nd. Some people don't know the difference between the two councils. So it's definitely a lot of work. On our president council meeting coming up, we will be pretty much probably giving majority of the time to this election business because people are very confused. And Gloria Casino is a good person, but that's part of the reason why, like Co-President Amy said. And that's a legal matter. So, not too much we could really do with that. We could always turn them to, like she said, legal in the DOE.
Thank you for your guidance, Co-President Sy and Mr. Lawrence. I know of a parent that had been trying to apply since January and couldn't get access. Didn't even get a chance to be considered. And what I'm trying to do is get information from her in terms of who she contacted, and that way I can let Gloria know, like, this is the situation. And so it sounds like it's had many layers. So it looks like I have a busy last day off tomorrow before I go back to work on Friday. I'll be consulting with you guys, and just trying to see what we can report at our calendar meeting, by our calendar meeting in 2 weeks. Yeah, when is the President's Council meeting? And Ms. Daniels, if you want to, I see Ms. Sachs as well. If you guys want to chime in, we have a little bit of time, and then I guess we could. You guys want to chime in? Anybody?
President Council meeting is on the 16th, March the 16th, and it's fully hybrid. We went back hybrid because nobody had been coming out. We went to the different boroughs, and sometime it only been just myself, Miss Andrea, and Amy. Real bad. And so we said we was gonna stop that. So we back fully hybrid.
Okay.
Due to the participation.
Okay. Yeah, so just to tie this in a bow, and members of the public that's listening, this is recorded. Just email the council, d75council@schools.nyc.gov. Any issues, any concerns regarding trying to be a candidate, any issues, Co-President Sy, Co-President Green, I'll consult with you, and then it'll be a collaboration. Obviously, I have some challenges with my work schedule, but I'll bring in Mr. Lawrence, I'll bring in Treasurer Angel, and hopefully they can fill in where I can't, and then hopefully we'll be able to speak to whether issues are addressed. These concerns are addressed. Hopefully we'll be able to speak to that at our calendar meeting. I'll do my best to Co-President Sy, if you could put that on the agenda, just any discrepancies in terms of the election process, what the update is for our calendar meeting in 2 weeks. And I'll work with you guys. Thank you so much for that feedback. I appreciate that.
Sure, no problem, Councilmember Spencer. And just to say, this is a separate vendor than they had the previous elections, which is 2 years ago. So they're getting their feels of like what the communication looks like as to informing the forum setups, learning times of setting up the platform, President's Council, moderators are facilitating the meetings. And also just to applaud the President's Council, who are doing 7 forums for the CC 1 to 32s, which is each borough, including additional Brooklyn one for Brooklyn North and Brooklyn South, and then the citywide platform, which now is at 71 candidates. So they are taking a lot of time to do this intentionally to make sure there's more opportunities for interested parents who are new to the CC advocacy. And we are making sure that our website is going to be fully launched on the campaign and the dates and the mark for April and May voting process as well. So we want to encourage not just your candidates, but also the community to come out and vote. Those parents who are legal caretakers of their child. So making sure that the voting also happens, making sure that we rock the boat with our community. So I will work with Co-President Green and Council Member, which is our outreach, Council Member Angel, on posting all the information that's necessary on our website and our social media. The flyers are coming out slowly. unfortunately, they didn't get it on time for the District 75 Bronx forum on Monday. It was pretty late. So the recommendation is for them to possibly hold another D75 Bronx so that the, parents that are interested to vote for these candidates still have an opportunity live, not just a recording. So any other suggestions to make this election process a streamlined one? Let's continue to consult with each other as well as the election 2023. It is 8:27. I want to check in with the interpretation room. Spanish interpreters, can you tell me if there's anybody in your rooms? Mandarin interpreter, can you tell me if there's a participant in your room?
No one in the Spanish line.
Thank you.
There's a no Mandarin parent who stay in the Mandarin 9. Okay.
Thank you so much. Co-President Green, since we don't have any participants in the interpretation rooms for Mandarin Spanish, can we relieve the interpreters for this evening?
Okay,
Yes, we can.
Okay,
We're officially
好的，我们
relieving you all at 8:28. Thank you. We
Thank
look
you.
forward to you at the next meeting.
非常
Thank
感
you
谢
for
我们
having us.
离在8点28分。好的，
Co-President Tsai,
Aye.
can you make Councilmember Jewett a co-host as well, please?
Sure, no problem. I see Council Member Husband's hands up.
Yes, I just had a question. If anyone knew when the recordings would be made available?
I think they're working as fast as they can because they're actually having multiple forms. They're on one night and almost every single night through the March and April. So learning times is slowly getting it up as soon as possible.
Okay, thank you. There was one also tonight. I was trying to do both. CCSE was
Yeah, they're
tonight.
having, CCSC is having 4, and I think they're considering a 5th just because of the amount of candidates that are increasing. So it's filled for forums. So, this is also the addition of these 75 seats.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other council members before we move forward? Okay, and so we move forward to the item that was added to this agenda from Councilmember Seydoud on the resolution for the administrative assistant hiring process, I believe. Councilmember Seydoud.
Yes, Co-President Tsai. I believe that all the council members have received the item. I just want to know if everyone has it. If they don't, let me know now. Councilmember Jewett, we are the co-chairs of the hiring committee, is going to read the resolution. It's quite short, into the record for others.
Would you be able to pull it up or do you like me to share the screen?
I'm not able to pull it up, not on this device. If yourself or Co-President Green can pull up the resolution was sent, can you?
Sure, no problem.
No, it's fine.
Give me a second.
Okay.
I have it up. I can share if you want.
Go ahead, Councilmember Husbands.
Yeah.
Can you see it?
I see it. Thank you.
Can you hear Councilmember Jewett?
Yes.
Okay.
And what did I do? Oh, sure. Oh, where did it go? Where did it go? Oh. She's speaking.
Councilmember Sidhu, is Councilmember Jewett reading right now or no?
Yes, she is. Is there a mute?
We're not hearing it, so do you want
You're
me to read
not
it?
hearing her.
And
Okay.
I'm
Read it?
unmuted. You can see my device.
She is unmuted, so there is something going on with her ability to communicate with us. She is
All right,
unmuted. on her device.
in the essence of time, do you want me to read it?
Yes, you can, Councilmember.
Thank you.
Co-President Green.
Thank you, council members. All right, so resolution to appoint an administrative assistant. Whereas the Citywide Council for District 75 requires competent staff to support it in the fulfillment of its missions, powers, and duties. And whereas the Citywide Council for District 75 is authorized to appoint, supervise, evaluate, and discharge an administrative assistant. And whereas the Citywide Council for District 75 has conducted an application process of qualified candidates. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Citywide Council for District 75 appoints Eileen Verdejo to the position of Administrative Assistant effective on April 3rd, 2023, with a salary of $49,300 per year upon the successful submission and acceptance of DOE required documentation, including a check of key background information, fingerprint clearance by the Division of Human Resources, and a reference check by the council. Resolution adopted by roll call vote of the Citywide Council for District 75 on March 15th, 2023 by a vote of. So it's this agenda. Councilmember Sidhu, I'm turning it back over to you.
Okay. Thank you, Co-President Green. Yes, all the council members, starting with the officers, are listed on the document on the 15th. I do request that this be an agenda item so we can take the formal vote and then forward the decision to Mr. Gonzalez at face.
Thank you, Councilmember Sudo. We have Councilmember Angel's hands up.
Thank you. Quick question. Have references been checked on our end since we did vote about a month or so ago to allow Ms. Verdejo to start? Also,
Ms. Verdejo does not start until April 3rd.
Thank you. That was my next question. What was the next date, et
No,
cetera?
it was read in the document by Co-President Green, the starting date. Sorry.
I didn't see the start date, so thank you for answering that. And you did state that you have checked her references from our end.
Did not check her references. Ms. Verdejo is going to provide those for the council. That is why this will be initiated on the 15th.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Accidentally did this.
Any other council members?
Thank you, Councilmember Husbands.
You're welcome.
Okay, we will.
The next thing.
I don't know
We
where
will
the next.
have this item for the calendar meeting to ratify the resolution to onboard the administrative assistant.
Close it, check. Because it's a
come on to start at April 3rd.
Chrome. Back to Chrome. Back when I was
Is there
not that.
anything else? Okay, we will move to the next item, which was Co-President Green's added agenda resolution. The updates. Is there any update on the Friday timeline? Co-President Green, you still have anything for Friday for the legislative meeting brief? Co-President Green?
I'm sorry, couldn't unmute fast enough. No, I was actually just asking for Councilmember Angel to give an update. She did.
Okay.
She did. She answered.
Thank you so much.
Stuff. I actually had one person that on the list that I had sent you, Councilmember Angel, that didn't receive the thing as yet. So I guess I'll send you an email off.
Councilmember Angel, were you able to? Did you hear that? Okay. I think she's occupied. So we will move to the last item of the council, which is any agenda items for additional items that have been put on for future meetings or future topics or presenters that any council member would like to discuss here and now. Councilmember Spencer.
Thank you, Co-President Sai. We've got to turn in these laptops and equipment in June, and I don't know. I don't know how to broach the subject, but I don't know if Jose could help us out in terms of just making sure that our profiles are wiped clean when we turn it in. We can get some verification on that. That are, we've been using this to use for, with our whatever emails that we use. Just want to make sure our identities are wiped clean. If we could look into that process, if Jose could.
We can reach out when we have our AA in place. We can reach out to the district office. The IT team is Angelo, and so he can help us.
So if I would request if an update can be given at our joint April meeting, how that, if an update, put that on an agenda item, how that, I don't know if we got to turn it in early to do that, or if somebody can give us an update, appreciate that.
Well, if you want to turn it in early, just let Co-President Green and myself know that you're going to come in and drop it off. If you want to hold on till the end of June, before the term ends, that's fine. And I would say that if there's anything that you have there that you want to save for yourself, do download it into another email or a USB or external hard drive. So you have that, and then we can wipe it clean. And we'll have we'll schedule the IT to be with you at the same time.
Yeah, that's what I mean in terms of IT. Like I have my profile on, to access Zoom and all that stuff. So anyway, all right, I'll follow it up later. Thank you.
No
May I
problem.
respond?
Yes, Co-President, Councilmember Green, Councilmember Angel.
Thank you. For the electronics, for the emails, and for other things that we have as council members, currently I have a running list of every committee, every email that is being accessed right now, unless a council member has made it separately. And I will be turning that over so that we can have legacy for people to see who was reached out to, how they were reached out to, etc. If you guys want to edit, if there's something more, I'm saying in the transparency mode of this is who I've sent things out to, this is how I moved, because if I'm not here, people need to see how we moved, who we talked to, who we dealt with, etc. When it comes to privacy, your emails are yours. You would need to change your password If you choose to give over the email that you've been using, if you don't, that's completely okay. That's fine. The next person will have to start over. However, the emails that you're using, the communications that you're using, we are not requesting your passwords. At minimum, you can reset the password and then forward it over to the council, and then people will be able to access what you have left available. If you do not choose to use the emails that you have used during this term moving forward, I, as an outreach, will honor that. I will take any information that any council member has used for their committee. I will add it to the file share. I will make sure that any incoming members have access, whether I am here or you are here, and it will also protect your privacy, but keep transparency within the council. Would that be sufficient?
Yeah, that sounds, I just didn't, thank you for your input, Treasurer Angel. Yeah, I was going to change passwords on my end, but I just didn't know if there was something that we would help, if there was some DII team might.
Any way that I can help you guys transition all of the committee members, like my assumption is, I'm not assuming I'm going to be reelected. I'm assuming that I'm leaving at June 30th. So everything that I'm doing for this remainder of the term is how can we set everyone who comes after us forward in legacy to be able to move forward. So I will respect every council member's individual ideation of what that is, and take the information and make sure that it is moved forward in a way that the next person who comes after you can succeed.
Yeah, it's just, it's like I said, this Zoom is my profile. So I just don't, when I turn this
Understood.
in, I don't want to,
Yes,
so.
no, in that case, I would say for council members who have used their individual Zooms, the council does have a Zoom that can support any committee, any person. So for the people who have stepped aside from that, we do not need you to share what you've used before, because we do want to lean people more forward to using the council Zoom so that we can record things, share things, et cetera, of that nature. So we don't want to make you feel like you have to give your personal information as you transfer over items.
Yeah, so I guess we can go into detail about that later. All right, appreciate that.
Co-President Green.
Just had a question for Councilmember Spencer. When you started talking, you were really talking about equipment, though, right? You were talking about the Chromebooks and that kind of stuff, I'm assuming.
Yeah, the Chromebook, which I'm presently on, right?
All right, okay. I just wanted to be on the same page. So, all right.
I'm with you, and in honest transparency, I know we have a sign out list that Ramona gave to the council members who did sign out. So when you do leave, I guess we would have a deadline to turn in items, et cetera. And then we would just match it up with the item numbers that initially came from Ramona. And then we should be able to close out those items. However, if any member needs assistance with wiping their computer, I know how to do it. So we don't really have to depend on DIIT. If you want to, that's fine, but I can show you how to wipe your computer to preserve your privacy, et cetera, and still stay within transparency.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. All right, we could go into thank you.
Council Lawrence, go ahead. You have your hand up.
Yeah, when this happened, I think that the two co-president previous, myself and Mr. Spencer, because it was given under our attendance, we got the list. The list is there in the office, and along with the current co-presidents, I think that we should all be in collaboration and see these returns come back. Because it was given with bags. We need the bags back, and the headphones as well. So all of that needs to come back. So I would love to be part of that when that take place for presidents, Amy and Green.
Thank you, Councilmember Lawrence. Yes, I agree. Definitely.
Thank you, Co-President Green and Councilmember Lawrence. Is there any other items before we adjourn the meeting for the business? I don't see any hands. Is there any announcements? Anyone like to share? Okay, so I look forward to council members to be early and shine on Friday. We will see each other to set up and prepare for the legislative breakfast with all of our representative and guests and community. Since there's nothing here,
Co-president side, what time? If you could just remind me, please.
yeah, so the continental breakfast that's served by our students in District 75 will be at 9:30, and we will begin the program at 10 o'clock.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, President Sire, I'll be there in spirit. Just I work the PM, so it's gonna be a little bit tight for me. So I wish all you all the best. Thank you for everyone that set up, and I'll be there in spirit.
Appreciate that. And we will be with you as well to be safe and to report to you our goals here. We need someone to motion if we're gonna adjourn. So anybody?
Councilman Lawrence make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, so we have motion by Councilmember Lawrence and second by Councilmember Angel. Any abstentions? Any oppositions? If not, don't see any and don't hear any unanimously, we are adjourned for the business meeting of
Good night. Be safe, everybody.
Night. Thank you.
Good night. It is 8:48 p.m.
Be safe, everybody.
Get home safe.